Hey, Tom here. Today I'm in the kitchen and I want to walk you through what this space is really like when you stop treating it like just a room and start seeing it as a working system. The first thing you notice is how organized chaos can be. There are sounds everywhere: water running, a kettle boiling, a pan sizzling, the fridge opening and closing. It's not quiet at all, but somehow it still works. Everything has its place, even if it doesn't look perfectly clean or calm. I start by looking around. There's a countertop with ingredients already prepared, a sink full of dishes waiting to be washed, and cupboards filled with everything you need for cooking. Knives, spoons, cutting boards, spices, all small things, but together they create the whole process of making food. In a kitchen, movement matters. You're constantly switching between tasks: chopping, stirring, heating, tasting. Nothing happens in one spot. You're always moving between the stove, the sink, and the fridge. It's like a small workspace where every step depends on the previous one. From a language point of view, this is where very practical English appears. You hear or use phrases like, "Can you pass me the salt?" "It needs more time." "Watch the heat." "Is it ready?" Or "Let's clean up after." It's simple, direct communication, no extra words, just what is needed. So I'm starting here in the middle of this busy space, ready to break down how a kitchen actually works step by step. Now I'm fully into the cooking process, and this is where the kitchen really starts to show its logic. At first glance, it might look messy: different ingredients on the counter, pots on the stove, tools everywhere. But if you pay attention, everything follows a clear order. I begin with preparation. This is the stage most people underestimate, but it decides how the whole meal will turn out. I'll wash vegetables, peel what needs to be peeled, chop ingredients into different sizes depending on how long they need to cook. Everything has a purpose. If you cut something too big, it won't cook properly. If you cut it too small, it might burn or lose texture. Timing is everything in a kitchen. Some things need to start early, like boiling potatoes or simmering sauces. Others must wait until the very end, like herbs or delicate spices that lose flavor if they're heated too long. You're constantly thinking ahead: what needs to happen now and what needs to happen in 5 or 10 minutes. While cooking, I move between stations almost automatically. I check the stove, stir a pan, taste a sauce, go back to the cutting board. It becomes a rhythm. If you stop paying attention, things can easily go wrong. Something can overcook, burn, or lose its balance of flavor. So focus is essential, even in a small kitchen. Language in this environment is very practical and action-based. You don't hear long explanations. Instead, you hear short instructions like, "Don't forget the oil," "Lower the heat," "Stir it slowly," "Taste it again," or "It's almost done." These are immediate, functional phrases that keep the process moving. Another important part is multitasking. In a kitchen, you rarely do just one thing at a time. While one pot is boiling, you're chopping something else. While something is baking, you're cleaning or preparing the next step. The ability to switch attention quickly is what keeps everything under control. There's also a constant need for adjustment. Maybe the dish is too salty, so you balance it with something sweet or sour. Maybe it's too thick, so you add liquid. Cooking is not rigid, it reacts. You don't just follow instructions blindly. You observe and adapt. And that's what makes this stage so interesting. It's not just about following a recipe. It's about managing time, ingredients, and attention all at once. A kitchen is basically a live system where everything is connected and every decision affects the final result. Now I'm focusing on the tools and equipment because in a kitchen, nothing works without them. Food doesn't just happen. It's created through heat, surfaces, and machines that control how ingredients change over time. The stove is the main center of activity. One burner is simmering gently, another is on high heat, and a pan is constantly being moved around to control temperature. Heat is not just on or off here, it's something you manage carefully. Too much heat destroys texture and flavor. Too little and nothing progresses. The oven works differently. It's more stable, more predictable. You put something inside, set the temperature, and let it transform slowly. While it works, you can focus on other tasks, but you still check it regularly. Even stable systems need attention. Then there are the smaller tools: knives, graters, spoons, ladles, and cutting boards. Each one has a specific job. A sharp knife changes everything. With it, preparation becomes fast and clean. With a dull one, everything slows down and becomes less precise. It's one of those details that makes a huge difference without being obvious at first. I also notice how important containers are. Bowls, pans, trays, they organize the process. Without them, ingredients would just be scattered everywhere. A kitchen depends on structure, even in the smallest things. From a language perspective, this is where very specific vocabulary appears. You hear phrases like preheat the oven, use a nonstick pan, chop finely, simmer gently, or bring it to a boil. These aren't just words. They are instructions that directly affect the result. There's also a safety side to everything. Hot surfaces, sharp tools, boiling liquids. You always need awareness. One careless moment can cause damage or injury. That's why people often repeat warnings like "be careful," "don't touch that," or "watch your hand." What becomes clear is that equipment is not passive. It shapes how you cook. The same ingredients can produce completely different results depending on heat level, timing, and tools used. A kitchen is basically a controlled environment where physics meets food. And once you understand that, you start seeing cooking less like a simple task and more like a system of controlled reactions. Now I'm shifting away from cooking itself and focusing on something people usually ignore: cleaning and organization. In a kitchen, nothing stays finished for long. As soon as you use something, it creates work in another direction. I notice how quickly things build up. A cutting board covered in scraps, a pan with oil residue, a sink filling with dishes. If you don't manage it during cooking, it becomes overwhelming at the end. That's why cleaning is not a separate task. It's part of the cooking process itself. I start doing small cleanups while I cook. I wipe the counter, rinse tools I no longer need, put ingredients back where they belong. It doesn't take much time individually, but it prevents chaos later. A kitchen works best when everything moves in small cycles instead of one big cleanup at the end. Workflow is the key idea here. Everything has a direction: prep, cook, serve, clean. But in reality, these steps overlap. While something is cooking, you're already preparing the next step. While one dish is finishing, you're already clearing space. It's constant adjustment. There's also a clear system of organization. Ingredients are grouped together, tools are placed within reach, and frequently used items stay in the same spots. If something is out of place, the whole process slows down. You waste time searching instead of doing. From a language point of view, Kitchen English here becomes very practical and routine-based. You hear phrases like clean as you go, put it back, wipe it down, we're running out of this, or keep the area clear. It's not fancy language. It's instructions that keep everything functional. I also noticed that teamwork, if there are multiple people in the kitchen, depends heavily on organization. Everyone needs to know where things are and what stage the process is at. Otherwise, people start repeating work or blocking each other. Another important detail is efficiency. The best kitchens aren't necessarily the fastest, but the most consistent. Small habits like not leaving mess behind or resetting your workspace make a huge difference over time. And that's the core idea of this part. A kitchen isn't just about cooking food. It's about maintaining order while you cook. If you lose control of the space, you lose control of the process. Now everything is coming together and the focus shifts from cooking to finishing. The food is almost ready, but this stage is where the final quality is decided. It's not just about taste anymore. It's about presentation, timing, and balance. I start by checking each element of the dish. Some parts are ready. Others need a little adjustment. Maybe a sauce is slightly too thick, so I loosen it. Maybe something needs a final pinch of salt or a touch of acidity to bring the flavor into balance. These are small corrections, but they make a big difference. Then comes plating. This is where the kitchen becomes more visual. Food is no longer just something you cook, it's something you present. I carefully place ingredients on the plate, thinking about color, shape, and spacing. Even simple dishes can look impressive if they are arranged well. Timing is critical here. Everything must be served at the right moment. If one part sits too long, it loses temperature or texture. So I coordinate everything, making sure hot items stay hot and delicate items don't wait too long before being served. From a language perspective, this stage includes very direct and focused phrases like "it's ready," "serve it now," "careful," "it's hot," "last touch," or "send it out." Communication becomes fast and precise because there is no time for long explanations. I also notice how attention shifts from process to result. Earlier, the focus was on steps and techniques. Now it's on how everything comes together as a final product. The kitchen becomes quieter in a way, not physically, but mentally. The main work is done, and only finishing touches remain. Presentation matters more than people think. The same food can feel completely different depending on how it looks on the plate. Clean edges, balanced portions, and simple decoration can change the entire impression of a dish. And finally, there's a sense of completion. Once everything is plated and ready, there's a short moment where the work stops being movement and becomes finished output. That transition from process to result is what defines this stage in the kitchen. Now everything is done, and I'm looking at the kitchen after the work. It's quieter, but not empty. There are still dishes to wash, surfaces to wipe, and tools to put back in place. A kitchen is never truly finished. It just moves between active work and reset mode. What stands out most after going through the whole process is how structured everything actually is. From the outside, cooking can look random or emotional. But inside a kitchen, everything is controlled. Timing, temperature, movement, and even communication. Nothing happens without reason. It's also clear that a kitchen is a system, not just a place. Every action affects another. If preparation is weak, cooking suffers. If timing is off, serving fails. If cleaning is ignored, the whole space becomes inefficient. Everything is connected, like parts of one machine. From a language point of view, the kitchen is full of practical English, short, direct, and action-based. You don't need complex sentences. You need clarity, what to do, when to do it, and how fast. That's what keeps everything running smoothly. There's also something human about it. Even though it's a technical environment, it depends on people working together, reacting quickly, and staying aware of each other. One person alone can cook, but a kitchen becomes something bigger when there's coordination. And maybe that's the main idea I take from this. Cooking is not just about food. It's about process, discipline, and awareness. The kitchen teaches you how to manage time, space, and attention all at once. So yeah, this was my walk through the kitchen, not just as a place to make meals, but as a working system where everything has a role and every detail matters.
Write a comment. 3 best comments get 20 English lessons completely free.